Hold on. Been a freaking nightmare tonight. All right, let's talk about these companies who help make this podcast possible. Guys, first, as always, is my friends BLUON, man. I love what they are doing, how they're helping the techs, and they just keep upping the game. And I keep saying to everybody, man, if you don't use BLUON, I really don't understand why you don't. They have everything there for you, whether it comes to tech support, the manuals, everything. And they're such great people. That's why I do these BLUON tech support episodes, so that you guys can get to meet the people that I meet. You can see their personalities and all the stuff that they do. And they're just great people. They're great techs that are there to help you in any way that they possibly can. So if you have not downloaded the BLUON app, please go and do that. Remember, you can order your parts from their app now. Everything. You buy it, your quote gets approved. Even though your company's paying for it, you can get 2% back on everything that you purchase. All right, next, let's go over to my other friends. I'm not even going to say what the thing, but to all my friends out there that are trying to start their own business, everybody message me and say, hey, Gil, I want to do this. I want to do that. And they're all technicians. You don't know how to start your own business. Guys, go check out my friend, Victor. It's called rocketgrowth.com. That has all the classes, everything that you would need to know to learn HR, all those little things that a technician doesn't know about running a business. So go check that out, and let's get on with this show, man. I can't even think straight. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States. Thank you to all those men and women who defend it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to the #1 rated HVAC podcast. If you're looking to grow in the HVAC industry, then you're in the right spot. Blue collar people talking about blue collar shit. Let's get better together. So turn up the volume, buckle your seatbelt, and let's welcome your host, Gil Cavey Jr.
What is up, everybody? Gil, welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. I'm your host, Gil Cavey. Thank you for being here another night. Guys, today has been a crazy fucking day, to even say the least. Anyway, we're going to get right into this, man. If you guys saw the show cover, I got a great guest tonight. He's going to be with me tonight and tomorrow. We have a topic that we're going to talk about tonight, and I'm so happy to have him here. This guy's came onto the scene. His podcast is fucking skyrocketed. Awesome content for what they're doing. And yeah, happy to fucking have him here. So everybody welcome Mr. Brett with 2 T's Wetzel.
What's going on, brother?
What's up, buddy? Thank you for being here, man.
Absolutely, for sure. I'm excited to be on.
Yeah, man. After the fucking audio issues that we were having. So I get home late, everybody. I got into an accident on the way to work today. I didn't even tell you that. We were talking. And it was my fault. One of those things where, like, I'm trying to go this way and people like let you come through, and I'm like, oh, thanks. And I look, nobody, and bink. I'm like, fuck. My truck's fine. The other person, it's not really messed up. It was just the mind fuck of it. But then getting home late, and it's like, man, it's always something. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, sorry for the sponsor reads, but definitely, guys, check out BLUON and Victor for what he's doing with the Profit Rocket is pretty amazing. So definitely check that out. I know I kind of botched the reads today, and I just wanted to keep going. But thanks everybody for being here in the chat. I know we were telling stories, so tonight, just so everybody knows, I guess before we get into that, if some of you don't know who Brett is, I guess Brett, I know 99% of these people all know who you are? If not, before we get into it real fast, just let everybody know who Brett is and what you do, my man.
Yeah. So my name is Brett Wetzel. I've been in the industry almost 20 years. I'm now the manager of technical troubleshooting and training for CoolSys. So I help derive new training programs for them. I've been doing anything from residential HVAC upwards to 1,000 horsepower ammonia screws, big chillers. I mean, I've worked on the gamut of stuff, and I keep going back to supermarket refrigeration. In my spare time, since I'm a nerd, we have a podcast, Advanced Refrigeration Podcast, who I do with my co-host Kevin Compass out of Indiana. And we actually just started another podcast called the Cooler Heads Podcast, where we just talk about issues that, you know, people really don't like to talk about, you know, feelings. We're as guys, you know, we just, you know, drink beer till we don't feel feelings anymore, right? So instead of doing that, you know, talking about a lot of different stuff, you know, a lot of different things of what you're dealing with. We actually had Jesse Egan on there on an episode called Womansplaining. So like we took whatever we talked to our wives about, and you know, she explained the woman version of why, you know, why they thought the way they did. And I like at some point I had nothing to say, because I was like, shit, she's right. But like the way my wife would, you know, go, I just think that she was crazy and an estrogen Molotov cocktail, you know.
That's funny. That's awesome. Yeah, Jess, I'll have to check. I know you guys started that podcast, but I haven't seen one. I won't lie. So I'll have to check that out, man, because that's awesome. Yeah, Jess on. Jessica's awesome. Finally getting to meet her in person in Vegas when her and her husband Craig took us out to dinner was awesome. So that's awesome. I'm glad that she came on. So guys, and it's awesome. That's a great lead, what you just said, a podcast about like talking about the different things that we don't always talk about. So guys, tonight, I say guys and gals, you know, tonight, you guys know that I always cover different topics, but I also like to talk about, you know, when it comes to addiction and mental health. And I love to make those episodes because I know that it affects so many people in the trades, and a lot of people just don't talk about it. But I also want to talk about, like, me and Brett were talking, and we're going to share with you some things about ourselves that, you know, maybe it's not something you share with everybody. And Brett had said something to me that he's going to share tonight that I was like, hey man, like you don't have to share that. And he was like, no, man, it's good. I'm an open book. So that's awesome. Little more, who needs volume from me?
Maybe I'm giving too much. Maybe I can knock mine down. It's up to you.
No, you're fine. If I don't understand how they're saying if he can't hear me, then it's on him, buddy. I'm just saying, everybody, how is the volume between us? I don't understand how it would be.
See, I just talk inherently loud because I'm deaf. My kids think I'm yelling constantly at them.
Yeah, let's see. Go ahead and talk real fast, Brett.
Real fast, Brett.
Okay.
Real fast.
I was making sure that I moved this thing over so it wasn't giving an audio loop back on you.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. All right. All right. Well, I can't get much. Can't get much louder than that.
By the way, if I move out of frame real quick, it's because I'm fixing the volume of air conditioning that'll probably kick on. I have the temperature turned up in the hotel room so you don't hear that full blast.
That's funny. But anyway, what I was going to say is, you know, tonight that he said shit, now I broke it. It's funny. Sorry, the comments. About mental health, man. And like I said, we're going to share some stories about ourselves. So guys, you guys know about my battle with addiction years ago. And it's one of the, hold on, now they say you're echoing.
Oh no. Is that better on my end?
No, that it's not on you.
Oh,
when I was changing those plugs and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, we had an audio issue here before that I was unplugging shit and plugging things in. I got to start locking the studio up. My daughter's coming here and press buttons and do things, and
it was funny because I could hear him, and then all of a sudden, like he would do one thing, like unplug something, and then I could, it would reverse back and really went that way for about 15, 20 minutes, and we're like, it's like an old man trying to use an iPhone. It was hysterical.
it was funny. We were sitting here for a while. Oh, it said it was good before. Okay, that's what I thought, because we can't be on the same one. So yeah, this should be. It's not you, and I mean, and the settings here can't change, so it kind of is what it is.
Leave it be. I turned it down the hockey game.
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave it the way it is right now, and everything should be fine. Rookie, if you hear something and see me, buddy, text me or whatever and let me know. But yeah, man. So I'm gonna ask this in the chat, and I want you guys. You don't have to say anything personal. How many of you have ever suffered with mental health, or you know someone who has suffered from mental health?
My family's got papers. No, it was funny because when my wife and I first got together, we were debating on whether to have kids or not. And like, I said to her, I was like, listen, I just want to let you know my family's fucking crazy. And she's like, oh, so was mine. Big Italian family. Oh, it's all, whatever. And I'm like, no, we have papers from the state. So do you really want to have kids?
That's funny. And thinking about your last name, Ryan, who is technically the owner of my company, my buddy Ryan, his nephew, his last name is Wetzel, and I put 2 and 2 together. His name's Jimmy Wetzel.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I was just like, well, he's younger. He's like just out of high school, but I was like, I never even put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, because I've never heard that last name until I thought about it, and then I was like, I guess it's one of those.
The guy that owns part of your company, is that what you said?
Well, he's the owner of the company. You know what I mean? Oh. Yeah,
okay. What's his last name?
Well, his last name is Grimes.
Okay.
So it's his nephew.
I would have been confused. You're like, the first time I ever heard that name, even though the guy that owns the company, his last name is that. So that's where I was confused.
Oh yeah, no, it's his nephew. Oh, that's funny. Jessica said her maiden name is Wenzel, so Wenzel. That's fucking hilarious.
Not really a common name. From what I've gathered, like, when I first moved out to Texas, they were like, we never heard no Wetzel before.
That's funny. So people say that, said they take meds for, mental health and stuff like that. And I'll be honest with you guys, mental health is something that I've struggled with my whole life, and I still struggle with it till this day. And that's one thing that I don't hide it. It's not that I hide it intentionally, but it's something I'm always conscious of, because I've been pretty fortunate in my life that I've been able to, have some things. I've been able, I'm fine financially. I have a house. I have a beautiful wife. I have families, businesses, things like that. But it's never enough. In my mind, it's never enough. There's always something that's just kind of like kicking me in the nuts. And then I used to have these scary thoughts where I would literally be like, I would have these nightmares where I would be at my own funeral. Like I could see everybody, but they couldn't see me, and I was no longer here. And then like crazy, suicide thoughts. And then that it would scare the shit out of me, because it's those thoughts that come into your head that you don't want, but they're there. And that kind of stuff is just scary. And it's always like those up and down. And I haven't had those thoughts in a while. So that but I'm being honest. But it's always those not being good enough kind of thoughts. And it's just like, always you're angry and don't know why you're angry. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're mad. I come home, I got my younger daughters, or daddy, so happy to see me. And I'm angry for some reason when I should be happy, grateful that I'm coming home to a family who cares that I'm there. And then you start to feel like bad, why do you feel this way? You know what I mean? So trust me, I have all kinds of fucked up feelings that go through my mind that I can't, can't shake sometimes. And I have different medications that I take. I see a therapist all the time, and it goes up and down. But the reason I say this is we live in a crazy fucking world, okay? And it is okay to not be okay, and talk to somebody. There's so many people out there that you feel like you are the only one. You are not the only one. I promise you. Everybody has a little bit of mental health issues. Some are more than others. Some people are good at hiding it, but you are not the only person. I promise you. So I like to make these. Like the last time I made the addiction mental health, I got a shit ton of emails about it. And people are like, man, it was so good to hear that because I thought I was the only one and blah, blah, blah. Guys, you and girls, you are not the only one. It's a crazy world. Inflation, the dollar doesn't go as far as it's supposed to, was going before. Everything costs more. Your paycheck's not going as far. It's okay.
I think another thing that happened is I think with COVID, it put people's life in perspective. I think, because you see that with it used to be able where guys would just work just to chase that overtime or whatever, and now it's like, fuck that. It's I'm going home to my family. You know what I mean? You see that more and more ever since COVID, and I think that's kind of like put people in perspective a little bit. Like hey, life is really that short.
Yeah.
People put people in face to face with their own mortality. Whether you think it was a really bad flu, you have to admit people died, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there are people that were freaking out about it, and that has happened. The fact that a lot of people, I mean, not us because we're all necessary workers, but basically, a lot of people were in the house for how long with the kids, and you know what I mean? Like it was a lot for even just a lot of moms. I mean, a lot of moms were dealing with a lot of mental shit too.
Yeah.
And dads, not just saying, women are the only ones that stay at home with the kids, but but it kind of messed a lot of people's heads up, you and I were talking before, like I'm kind of an introvert, like even though like I'm very outgoing, if I'm not talking or if I'm not being the instructor, I get anxiety real bad, like just listening to conversations. And we were talking about this before, and I have to like disappear, and I have to disappear and decompress. Like I said, I talked to Chris Stevens from HVSR Videos about it, and he had said that he had noticed it. Like we were at it because we did AHR, right? And then we did the HVAC School Symposium. So I had, those were fairly close events that were really close to each other. So by the mid of the symposium, like I would just fucking disappear. Where are you going? I'm going to go smoke a cigarette. Like I'd disappear for like 15, 20, 25 minutes because I had so much input, and it was anxiety. And that's something that I deal with. I've never been to a state facility yet. I've never been addicted to drugs. I suffer from sometimes can be really bad anxiety. And like I go in my spurts, like, I taught 2 weeks ago in California, and I was on a high, just wired and manic. And then I came home and I'm like, oh my God, I'm fucking useless. And like, I didn't want to talk to anyone. And I don't know if it was because like, for how many hours on end, like I just kept talking to people, and, teaching is just exhausting. Like I not that I would rather work 24 hours, but I think working 24 hours in a row is easier than maybe teaching for 8 to 10 hours a day. Because it's just, you're on constantly recall, you know what I mean? So it's just, it's mentally draining. I mean, imagine doing a marathon of a podcast for, fucking 10 hours.
Yeah.
By the end of an hour and a half, I'm smoked. Imagine after, 10 hours of just straight up talking.
Yeah. I need like a whole pack of cigarettes.
Right? You sound like that chick at the nickel slots. I just need one more fucking nickel.
That's fucking funny. Yeah, but see, and it's funny, man, and it's the way that we feel like this is so common, and I want anybody if we do this podcast and it helps one person, it's worth it to me. And I guess mine is kind of a different kind of anxiety, and more just like, I guess it's depression. In my mind, I feel like I can never be happy. Like I'm never happy. I'm never satisfied with myself. Like if something like say a sponsor called me tomorrow and was like, Gil, we love you. We want to give you $1 million. I would get it. And I would think more bad thoughts about the money than good thoughts, if that makes sense.
What kind of bad thoughts?
Like, am I going to spend this right? Did I do this right? Should I do this for my family? Do I really deserve this money? You know what I mean? Like, it's my mind automatically goes to, oh, you don't deserve this. Why are you getting this? You should be doing this, but you did this. And it's always that constant like battle in my mind all the time. And like, it never fucking stops.
Do you think you suffer from a little bit of imposter syndrome where sometimes you feel like, I don't fucking deserve this. Like I'm just doing my job.
I guess almost sometimes, and I'm one of those people that I rather do things for other people. You know what I mean? But when it comes to like, I'm trying to think of a way, like the good right words to put it in.
I got something. So like, for example, you're the dad underwear, right? I have underwear that's probably older than my kids. And I make sure that everyone else has everything else that they need or desire, other than, you take care of everyone else more so than yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm such an asshole. So my mother-in-law, last Christmas, she says to me, she's like, I'm going to get you something for Christmas. What do you want? I was like, I don't know. I really don't need anything. I was like, I can always use more money for another tattoo. I was like, she's like, well, I'm going to get you underwear. I was like, Mom, you can't do that. She's like, why? I was like, because for the past 6 or 7 years, I know they're yellow in the front, brown in the back. If you get me a new pair, I'm going to get confused and it's going to take me twice as long to get dressed. And she's like, you're fucking disgusting. You're getting new underwear. But like, that's what I meant though. Like, you're basically, you take care of everyone else rather than yourself. Like,
yeah.
I'll eat the other day. For lunch, I bought Vienna sausages at the gas station. You know what I mean? Like, and like my wife is eating fucking DoorDash and shit. You know what I mean? I like do I deserve, because all my money's supposed to go to the kids, supposed to go to the wife and take care of them,
Yeah. And I don't know, man. It's just, it's very weird. The feeling deserving of things, the never enough, making sure that I'm, being the best I can as a husband, as a father, as a boss, as a friend. I will say the loss of my best friend a few weeks ago, it's got me fucked up, and I'm trying to snap out of it, but that's now 2 of my best friends in the world are gone, and it's. Yeah, that is just, I don't even know if I can get in that topic because I'll sit here and I'll fucking I'll cry like a little baby. But I still like that's still, I can't shake it no matter how hard I try. It's just like, and I feel like that whole like saying, they say I'm fine when somebody says I'm fine and they're not, and it's like I try to put a smiley face on and try to get through it, but in the inside it's fucking broken. And but there's no quick answer to be there's no like put a band-aid on it and it's better. It's something that takes time, but it's just like, what the fuck do you do in the meantime,
Talk about it.
See, and that's my problem. I don't.
I'm not focusing you. I'm not telling you to talk about it. What I'm saying is that that's why I'm so open about everything and why I haven't probably, crashed a flaming car into a brick wall. No, I mean, because I talk about everything, you know what I mean? So, my mom told me, so my dad used to beat the shit out of me. And we went to, I remember going to a woman's shelter, and I don't remember much about it except for playing with little Chinese, like 2 brother and sister Chinese kids. And the parents didn't speak any English, but the kids spoke broken English. I think I was like 5 at the time. And I had a discussion with my mom, like, why does dad hurt himself? Why does dad hurt us? And, it's because he holds everything in, and he lets everything bottle up and fester. And she's like, Brett, if you have, any availability not to do that in life, don't let anything in. So from there on out, because my daughter's going through some stuff right now. So like the end of school year, she wanted to try to hurt herself. She lost her shit in the middle of school. Cops were called. She went to a behavioral health hospital, which then got her meds straight. She suffers from ADHD, and also she's on the spectrum, and she has what's called trichotillomania. So she has the compulsion to pull out her hair, her eyebrows, and her eyelashes. Problem is that 14-year-old girls are awful human beings, and they ridiculed the shit out of her. And so she is at a horse farm up in Oklahoma right now, getting the help that I couldn't give her. You know what I mean? As a parent, you can only do so much, because a lot of times, because you are the parent, they don't want to let you down. They don't want to tell you things that they think that you're going to get upset by, right? So it limits how much they can actually talk to you. And I've had this same exact discussion with my daughter. Like, you can't hold shit like that in, because that's what happened. She held it in, and it blew up, and now we're here. Right. So, if I could give any advice to anybody, I'm not saying, go tell, go get a fucking billboard and put it out in there, but no, just, find someone that you can console into, whether it be a partner, whether it be a psychiatrist or whoever. I just talk to everyone, so everyone knows my business, and it helps me, because I can laugh about certain things, and find comedy in it. One of the I ever tell you the story about my mom?
No.
So my mom passed away when I was 25. I was living in Pennsylvania, and that's the reason why we booked out of Pennsylvania. And she died in Mexico. She went on vacation down to Cancun. She came back in a box. Her appendix had ruptured while she was on vacation. And I was crushed. I was emotionally just fucking crushed. And the first time, so they took her off the international flight. They brought her back to Philadelphia International. They brought her back to the small town that we live in. And I remember the first time I saw her body, my wife was with me, and they opened up the casket, and I go from like just crying really bad to manically laughing. I just like psychotically Joker laughing. And my wife thought I just snapped. She thought something fucking broke in me. She's like, what, like concern, like legitimate concern. Like, what the fuck are you laughing at? And the only thing I could get out was, she looks like a Mexican whore. Cause like they did her all up in like the Day of the Dead shit. Yes. Funny as hell. You can laugh, dude. It's a funny fucking story. So like,
it's not what I was expecting you to say. I'm sorry.
No, I know. No, it's fine. That's fine. No. So because like she was an Irish woman, so I'm kind of tan, but I'm in the wintertime I'm fucking yellow, like we get tortilla, and so I'm she's got the really curly hair, the dark lip liner, the dark eyeliner. They just did her all up like she was gonna, because she got did up in a mortuary down in Mexico. So, like, my wife thought I legitimately broke, and that was the only words I could get out because I couldn't stop laughing.
That's hilarious. Well, and on the other side, granted, I was 10 years older when I lost my dad, but losing a parent is never cool. I lost my first best friend, and 6 months later, I lost my dad. That was a rough period. So I agree with you about talking, and it's weird because I am pretty much an open book. Like, if somebody asks me a question, like I'll say whatever, but I feel like my thoughts sometimes I don't tell those to people because I scare myself, and I'm like, I'm afraid if I tell somebody this, they're going to lock my ass up. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm honest with somebody and I tell them what really goes through this fucking, thick skull, that they're going to be like, hey, you need to get fucking straitjacket and lock this motherfucker up. He needs to, So I will say after my buddy died, I started going back to therapy, and that has been great. Like I leave, like my therapist is awesome. I stopped seeing her, but when I went back, like it's been amazing because, like you said, I always worry. Well, like we were talking about before, is I always worry about everybody else so much. I don't worry about me. You know, like my mom had to have part of her lung removed to beat cancer, so she has health issues. Always fucking worried about her. My wife has a brain condition. She's in and out of the hospital. Always fucking worried about her. My kids. My son had the heart thing after getting the fucking COVID shot. I feel like I'm the one who needs to be there to eat all that. That's my responsibility as the man of this house. So,
yeah, but at one point you can crash though.
well, and that's what I worry about, man. And I thought there for a little bit, like I was really, really close to crashing. And the whole fake smile wasn't through it. And the people close to me were like, hey man, like something's not okay. Like we can just see it in you. And I appreciate those people because I think if something wasn't said, that, you know, God knows what could have happened. Because that was dark places in my mind. Like, I hope I go to sleep and not wake up kind of shit. You know what I mean? So, you know, and please, everybody, when I say this or somebody watching this after, I know most of the people in here know me and know Brett, so it's different. But if somebody watches this after the fact, this is not about me. It's not about Brett. It's not about us. It's about the topic. Okay. So I'm just using my personal, so I don't want you to pour me. That's not why I'm doing this. It's about, I know other people have these thoughts and maybe they just don't say things, or maybe it's different. Maybe it's kind of similar, but it's a little bit different. So whatever it is, I want you guys to know that it's okay. Talk to somebody. Sometimes me doing the podcast is fucking therapy. You know what I mean? Just talking about whatever it is, talking to people, and it helps.
So I have a question. So I go through this a little bit. So when you have to do a podcast, you kind of get excited that you have to do the podcast, and like 30 minutes before the podcast, you're like, I really don't want to have to do this. And then you start talking, and then you actually feel better after you actually get the muster to be like, oh, I guess I'll get up, I'll hit the play button. You know what I mean? Does that happen to you?
Yeah, it definitely does. It'll be like, I always have fun, and when I'm done, I'm grateful and thankful that I did it. It's the You good?
Yeah, sorry.
Somebody sneaking in your room?
No, my phone just keeps dinging, so I just wanted to shut it off. I have my phone on my bed. I apologize.
No, you're good. Shit, I forgot what I was saying now. Oh, yes, I do feel that way. Like, I always love doing the podcast. I absolutely love it. After I get done, I'm like, man, that was fucking awesome. I'm so happy I did it. But throughout the end of the day, as I get towards it, it's like, dude, I'm fucking tired. Like, man, like, fuck, I'm not gonna have time to get, like, you know, I'm not gonna have time to eat. I mean, you saw me. Well, I got home late tonight. I'm like wolfing down fucking Chinese food as me and him are playing, you know, talk through a can and can't hear each other. And I'm like, ah. But yeah, it's just, there's so many other things in your life, but I get so happy. That's why I love doing this podcast. I mean, this sounds stupid, but I think that I would do this if nobody else was listening, to be honest. You know what I mean? If God forbid nobody listened, I would just sit here and talk to this fucking microphone for anyway.
When Kevin and I first started Advanced, you know, we started it just for fun. You know, it was the barrage of going through like YouTube and seeing like, oh my God, someone's gonna get killed. Like if they follow these directions, you know what I mean, on how to do something. So like that's what motivated us to actually do that. But you know, you're right. It's, you know, you do it because it's joyful for you.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, even, you know, like I don't know, it just having someone to talk to and like and feed off of, like, you know, sometimes you know, even if that other person makes you laugh, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sorry, comments were popping up. Scott, HVAC rookie, said, "Strike one, Brett. Don't let it happen again." LOL. I guess he was talking about when you went off or whatever to check your phone.
Sorry, Scott. Don't be mad.
That's funny. Thank you, Jimmy. Hesbach. I don't want to say your last name wrong. But
Hesbach.
Hesbach.
Bach.
Yeah.
Bach.
So thank you, man. I appreciate you coming to check it out, man. I really, really do. Normally we talk about HVAC stuff and not like, mental health and, blowing your brains out or nothing. So check out tomorrow's show. Me and Brett will be back with me, and we'll talk about some other more HVAC refrigeration related stuff.
Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah. And Sam, just so you know, buddy, I did get your last email, and I will respond to you, man. I want you to know. I just been playing catch up, and like I said, I've been in a goofy place, but I did get your email. I appreciate the fact that you do that and reach out, and I'll respond to you, buddy. So thank you.
He's Bach like the musician.
That's funny. So to go back, but so your daughter's doing good now? Like she's in a good place?
She looks, okay, how can I say this without like thinking it's just about her looks? She looks good. So like you had stated before, you can actually look at someone and be like, wow, they really look upset. They really look depressed. And that's how my kid looked before. And she didn't have so she's been pulling her hair off and on since she was, I think, 5 or 6. So like it'll go in spurts, and it's usually like whenever there's a big life change. So when she had puberty, hair came out. When she went to middle school, hair came out. You know what I mean? So certain things, basically trigger it off. And so this is the first time where she's actually had eyebrows and eyelashes for 10 years. So not just because she has that, but like she can have an articulate conversation. She can have, we told her she was coming home like the end of October, and she self-sabotaged. She basically just started just doing a whole bunch of stupid shit that she ended up losing points for. So she leveled down and she didn't talk to us for a week after we had a family therapy session, and we said, hey, you're staying there. You're not coming home. We thought like this would motivate you to get your act in gear and get home quicker, but it didn't. And so of course she didn't talk to us, regular teenager. Didn't talk to us for a week, and then we had family counseling again. And then she's like, I'm sorry. I didn't want to talk to you. I was like, no, that's perfectly fine. You can we're your parents. You can be pissed off at us, but we're never going to stop loving you. And, she had acknowledged the fact that she did self-sabotage, where she's like, I this was all me. This is a 14-year-old telling me this. So I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't even get her to do damn dishes. And now she's having this type of an adult conversation with me. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
So like she had then realized that she legitimately fucked up. And that's that, trying to get a 14-year-old teenager to admit they did anything wrong, especially even when it's like something so personal, you know what I mean? It's just amazing. So, because here's the thing, like everyone's always treated her differently because she's always acted differently. I act differently. You know what I mean? I'm different. And when people treat other people differently, you have this, you don't learn how to work in certain social situations. Like, so things don't, like if you're wearing kid gloves around me when you're around me, then I'm not going to really know what a full life, how to deal with normal people, right? If everyone's going to always treat me with kid gloves, right? So this place that she's up at, it's an inpatient place, but it's basically a horse farm that has horse therapy and stuff. And this actually, she's forced to live with 14-year-old girls that have similar situations to hers. And so it's forced her to grow up. It's forced her to like, okay, this is how I have to react. You know what I mean? Like when she was younger, she wouldn't know, like, she'll go from 0 to I love you in seconds. Like if you show her any kind of affection, you know what I mean? So like, and like other children at that age don't like that. They don't dig that. So, they don't know how to, they just shun her then. Right. So this is, her forcing to live with another 14-year-old girls, 14 of them up there. It's like them living up at Yellowstone, all in a big bunkhouse. And, they're getting to interact and, have to deal with their own issues so they don't get in trouble. So this has helped her grow up a lot.
That's awesome. I'm glad she's doing good, man. That's fucking awesome. And I'm glad that there's places like that exist, for her to be able to go to. How long has she been there now?
3.5 months. And so she only gets one phone call a day, 5 minutes. And so it's time. Because you'll hear the phone click and she's like, well, I got to go. You know what I mean? Like, you can time it to the dime. And she's like, I have to go at the 5 minute. And then we have family counseling for about 45 minutes once a week. And, she can call whoever's on her list. We could try to keep it small because we didn't want her, calling her friends and stuff. Cause like she would try to play the manipulation game when she first got up there. Like first she was just angry. I fucking hate you. You're horrible parents. You just don't want me there, blah, 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 blah. And then it turned into, oh, but I really miss you. And then when that wouldn't work, when I wouldn't let that phase me, it went right to fucking anger. You know what I mean? So you could tell like she was, having to work inside and just be like, listen, maybe I need to like, just have at it. And I'd been playing conservative and I was like, I understand you don't want to be there, blah, blah, blah. And like, after like the third week where she just kept doing stupid shit she shouldn't have, I was like, you just need to fucking man up, put your big boy panties on and get done what you need to get done and take care of yourself and stop worrying about everything else. This is meant to help you. This is meant for you to have the time to self-internalize and figure out why you're upset and why you're depressed and why these things are happening. And after that conversation, she did a total 360. Like it took me being a dick because I'm usually the compassionate one and I'm just like, oh, I get it. You know what I mean? Because I'm an empath. I try to be empathetic. And so finally I laid down the law. I was like, you just need to get your shit in order. And after that, like, I mean, she straightened out and she's been great. So like every time she has a pass, so like occasionally she gets a pass. Like she's doing real good. Like one last time she had a 12-hour pass. So it's 5.5 hours. It's like literally the armpit of Oklahoma. And so we drove up there and it's a haul, man. So, we hung out there, all day with her and then stayed over at the hotel and then drove everyone home the next day. And then the last time that she had passed, I just went up by myself and she's like, I just, cause I carry a projector for training, but I also, it duals as a projector in my motel room. So like wherever motel room, I just have, I put on Rick and Morty and it's like, 8 by 4 feet wide on the side of the wall. So I'm able to chill. And that's all she wanted. She wanted me to just hang out and watch movies, eat garbage all fucking day and just hang out with that. That's all she wanted. But then towards the end of the day, it turned into, I really want to come home. Like, and I get it. Like, she was emotionally drained. It was a tiring day, but I mean, she's also busy all the time. Like I went through her schedule with her and she's like, and she's laying it off 7 a.m. Hygiene, 7:30, breakfast. Like she's breaking it down, like all the shit she does throughout the day. It was like a military schedule.
That's what I was gonna say, military
group and like, like just all that stuff, man. It was crazy. But no, she's doing a lot better. I actually talked to her today and she's like, I was like, baby, what's wrong? You sound tired. She's like, I got another COVID shot and it's fucked me up. Well, she didn't say fuck me up, but she's like, I have a fever. I was like, all right. I was like, they're not, because they'll give her OTL for stuff that she's not supposed to, which is basically something like if she get caught pulling her hair, they'll give her points to taken away, and stuff like that. And, I was like, they're not giving you OTL for it. She's like, no, it's legitimate. I'm like, okay, good. What'd they give you? Ibuprofen. You doing all right? Yeah. So she's just going to chill out in the bed, but no, she like, it's man, for the first time. But anyway, so I forgot what I was going to say. So we've been going out there and every single time, like when we first took her in, we bleach blonde her hair and then gave her a green mohawk with purple on the sides. And then the next time we went up there, she's like, I want to re-dye my hair, but I want it all red this time. I was like, all right, straight. So we went up there. One of the other passes, we ended up bleaching her hair and then re-dyeing it red. So now, she's super Irish. So my mother's maiden name was Higgins. And so now the dye has worn out. So now she looks like a ginger. I saw her on family counseling. I was like, you're not my kid. You have no soul.
That's funny. I'm that makes my heart feel good that she's doing good, man. That's awesome. And then like the fact that you got to go down and like spend that time with her just watching movies, like just making those little memories and those bonds that you have with a parent and a child. And I can only imagine what that's like, her not being there, and having to be strong missing your child on the other side, but knowing that they're in the best place, that they need to be. So big shout out to also Zeke on here. Zeke said, I have my daughter in Asheville for inpatient counseling. It's very tough. So you're not, you're not the only person dealing with that. So, somebody else opened up.
Well, thanks for opening up, Zeke, man. It's hard, especially as a parent, right? Like you feel almost like a failure, right? And, you think like, I could have did better. And then I remember the first time where she ended up going in, like I went back to those days where I had said, we shouldn't have had kids. Like we shouldn't have kids. Like I passed on, like my DNA is a genetic minefield. Like I shouldn't have had kids. Like I shouldn't have, I knew it was like, would you play Russian roulette with a loaded gun? You know what I mean? I played Russian roulette with a loaded load, and like I knew how fucked up my family was. And like, I was blaming myself for a while. I was like, no. Like I've done everything in my power to not she doesn't know anything about any of my family shit. She knows that I grew up poor. And that's the only reason why she knows that is just to make her feel appreciative. So she's not just spoiled fucking brat. Because, as a parent, right, you try to do better, right? And one of those things is like, if you didn't have shit as a kid, your kids have fucking everything. Like, so my kid's, 14 and she was having the car conversation with me. And she's like, Daddy, it's almost time for a car. I was like, we got time, kid. She's like, well, you got to start saving now. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, the average car in this neighborhood usually goes for about $25,000. I was like, well, the first car I ever had was $2,500. It was a 40-year-old car. It was a 71 Plymouth Valiant painted Hunter safety orange. So we're going to see what you get. It looks like a Civic, ma'am.
I'm going through that with my son now. He wants a car and he's sending me these brand new trucks and stuff. And I was like, bro, you better look on the other side of the street in that used car lot, man. And that's another thing I try to teach my son is, I'm trying to, so I'm not saying, most people that know me, I'm not saying this, I don't want this to come off the wrong way. As far as financially, I've been fortunate enough that if I want something, I can get it. But when money cannot buy happiness, if you are not happy without money, you will not be happy with money. It's that simple. Money will fill a void for a little bit of time. That's why your relationships, and I think for me, some of those years working, having to got to get to this point, man. Cause that was my mentality after beating after beating the addiction was, all right, man, what the fuck? I wasted all this time. Like I got to play catch up. It's time to roll. Let's do this. I want to get in the books and learn. That I was so focused on getting my career to where it had to be and doing all these different things. And it was great. The financial means came. But I think now in the last couple of years, I'm finally like, oh, well, why don't I go to the movies with my kids, or let's go away for the weekend, or let's go on a vacation. You know what I mean? Like they're the reason I do what I do. But if they don't feel that, you know what I mean? Then that's my fault. You know what I mean? Like I need to make sure that they know that this is why I do this. And sometimes they don't want a toy. They want my time. You can always make money. We can't get time back.
Well, so they say that 85% of the time that you spend with your child is through the ages of 0 to 18. So after that is the most amount of time that you will spend with them. So if you blow that off, you only have 15% of the time that the rest of your life that you're going to be able to actually know them. So, that time when they're younger is really, really important. So just remember that, fucking that song makes me cry, but like the Cat in the Cradle song, like, I'm like, oh, I'm crying like a bitch with a skin knee because my daddy, I didn't make time. You know what I mean? And like, so like, I mean, that's one thing. So like, I've tried now to make sure I cook, three times a week, typically for my kids. And I told my daughter when she finally gets out, we're gonna, one of the days that we're gonna cook, I was like, you're gonna pick what you want to make, because I love cooking. I absolutely love cooking. Too. That's probably why I'm fat.
I just bought a smoker.
Dude, I was 194 when I left Connecticut for Texas. And because I lost about 45 pounds, and I found all 40 to 45 pounds in Texas smoked meats. And yeah, now I've ballooned back the fuck up. So I got to do something. I don't know. I got to do something. Otherwise, I'm going to be 400 pounds waddling in the AHR.
I'm gonna be like, what happened to Brett?
Yeah.
Like Cartman, it's me, guys.
I went to my doctor the other day. She's like, you don't look like you're 245 pounds. I was like, yeah, I got a shirt on, sweetheart. 245 pounds looks like. I'll take off my shirt. We'll do a Chris Farley. It'll be amazing. I'll do a little van down by the river.
Oh shit, that's funny. Yeah, I've been keeping my weight. You know, one thing about my oldest son, he works out for sports, so I work out with him just to feel like I'm not a piece of shit. So I've been keeping myself in pretty decent shape, and I'm probably like 225 right now. But if I stay between 215, 220, that's probably like my ideal weight. If I get any lower than that, I look unhealthy, and as long as my belly and my arms don't look like they're fucking, little.
See, I carry it well, but only because I'm tall. I'm 6'1". So like, I'm no short fry. So like I carry it well. I just, my shirts are now don't fit.
They're a little snug. Well, me and you are the same height.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, me, because I'm 6'1".
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know Chris was a little guy. Well, and then Scott, when he was with us, rookie, I think how tall are you, rookie? I think he's the only one that was taller than us.
Yes.
Yeah, because I know me and you talking, because I remember the first night when we were sitting at the bar when I first met you. Yeah, when we were standing up, me and you were, pretty much the same height, and Scott was the only person who was taller than us besides, some other random people. I had a friend whose brother was schizophrenic and his wife had anxiety issues. They were afraid to have kids, but wondered if they ever considered adopting. They were afraid to have.
Yeah, I have poor comprehension. I have to read that 3 times.
Yeah, me too. I had a friend whose brother.
They were afraid to have kids. Oh, okay. So they were afraid to have kids, period. But I wondered if they ever considered adopting. So they basically had the same fears as what I originally had. And, he was just wondering himself if they ever decided to adopt. 6'2". You seem bigger.
He did. He does seem bigger than that. Hey, Miss Susie. Good to see you.
There was a guy that met Kevin for the first time, and it was one of the most creepy, like you've had those experiences where someone fanboys you to death, and it gets like creepy, like almost creepy. And the guy walks up to Kevin, he's like, "Boy, I thought you'd be taller." And like for the whole time, like we make jokes, like I guarantee he's gonna take you back and do a little bit of deliverance with you. Squeal like a pig.
I was getting ready to say that.
That about mama's first.
Oh shit! I was thinking the same thing. Squeal like a piggy.
I killed you. I'm sorry.
What is this? Hold on.
What's up, Coolin' with Kraus?
Yeah, Mr. Kraus is going to be at AHR.
Me too.
Yeah, it's good time. Yeah, like I told you, I was surprised when I saw some of the people that were podcasting there. I didn't see you, but I totally forgot about you guys doing the
the Sporlin booth.
Yeah, because I saw some of these shows. Yeah, why doesn't he come?
He's more of an introvert than I am. He doesn't like doing live shit. Like he really doesn't like, he just doesn't like, he just doesn't like to. He's like, or maybe he is, I don't know. Maybe he is going, I don't know. I forget. He said he was going to one of them. I forget if he was going to the symposium or if he was going to AHR. Maybe it is AHR. I don't know. I got to look.
Just tell him to come, man. It's fun.
I just, I wish I had more time to walk around. I because I was at that booth a while.
You were at that booth a lot.
Yeah.
Every time we go by, you're like a staple, like one of those stools. It's like, there's Brett. Like I said, we're doing something. I think me and BLUON are gonna do something like that this year. And that's one of the things. at HR, like it is so much fun to be there. There's so much stuff to see. But when you go there as a podcaster or having like, responsibilities to sponsors, like it's work. Like you're there for a business trip. You know what I mean? So, and it's fun. I'm not saying it's not fun, but it's like, oh my God, it's 12:30. Like Scott knows, Rookie knows, because he's with me most of the time. Like, hey, bro, like you can come with me or you can stay here. Like, I got to go to Yellow Jacket. Oh, I got to be over here by 1 o'clock. You know what I mean? It's just going back and forth. I like podcasting down there, but I'm not going to lie. I could take or leave that. Like, that's why sometimes I give my times to other people. Like, I like to do a show or two, but I don't snatch up a whole bunch of times.
So we were I signed up for like the last day because it was one of the only spots that I could get. Because I was like, I didn't even know this was a thing. And like 1, I was tired. 2, when the time came that I was going to do it, I had then realized that all the flights for DFW area were getting canceled or delayed. And I was like, shit. So I called them up and I was like, listen, I'm really sorry to do this so short notice. I was like, all the flights, I'm trying to get home. Like I'm rushing to the hotel to try to get home. So I get to the hotel on time, 2 hours to spare. And then all of a sudden, the flight goes from delayed to canceled.
Oh, you did have trouble getting home. I remember that.
Oh, hold on. Let me finish. So there was like a hostel type thing in that Las Vegas airport where you can pay by the hour at this spot. And now that I'm thinking about it, that's fucking gross. Cause now I'm wondering why they pay by the hour, but they have a bed in there that you can sleep in. So that's what I did. I was like, well, cause I was like, I'll just stay here. I'll stay up for a couple hours. I'll pay for the 10 hours. I'll get up 2 hours before my flight so I can check into baggage and whatever else. Cause all my bags were already, wherever they needed to be. And I ended up staying 10 hours at this little hostel thing that was in this in the hotel, spa, gym, whatever. And then I went there the next morning, and then the flight went from delayed, fucking canceled. So I was like, son of a bitch. So like, I wasn't going to spend another 24 hours in the airport playing, Tom Hanks' fucking Terminal Boy. So I decided to just get a hotel room, close. Because the first night it was different. Like if I just spent one little like 10-hour shift stint in there and then went to go get my flight, I get it. Like that would have been straight. But I'm not spending fucking 2.5 days in the airport. So I ended up getting delayed. I think it was 2 or 3 days later because Dallas got like a 1/2 inch ice. And when they get ice or anything of precipitation value, shit shuts down everywhere.
That's what it was. I remember. I knew there was some kind of storm. I forgot exactly, but now that you say it, I remember.
Yeah. So like I said, I remember sitting at the hotel room and I was, I'm a big meme maker. So I was making like, I put my face on Tom Hanks from the terminal and I was like, oh, starting a movie tonight, and yeah.
How long did it take you to get home? Like, wasn't it a couple of days?
3.
Yeah.
3 days.
Fuck.
Yeah. And then like it wasn't anyone's fault except for Dallas and snow.
That's nuts. Thank God me and Rookie were talking about it. I haven't even booked my flight yet for HR. I gotta get that flight.
Yeah, me too.
I always wait till the last fucking minute to do those kind of things. I was supposed to be a guest speaker and podcasting at the Women's and HVACR event in November, but I had to cancel and back out, which it sucks. But I just had so much going on here that I couldn't do it, which stinks because they're awesome group of ladies. Yeah,
my HVAC tactical shirt. Someone brought me as their +1.
Are you going this year?
No one invited me.
Oh, you don't need a +1. Just get a ticket.
No.
Yeah, just or I can get one. If you just go to hvactactical.com and you go to the bottom about the show, if you put in that you want a ticket and you don't got to put any money, you just pre-order so he knows about how many before they go on sale.
Got you.
Yeah. It's
told him because I was like, I kind of felt left out because like that whole awards, it's HVAC. I'm like, why? I said to him, I was like, where the fuck's the R? Forgot the R at the end. I was like, maybe next year.
He'll start doing some more because there's plumbing people there. So he's definitely opening up. But I know this year is going to be even better than last year. So I can't I can't wait. Rookie said, Brett, that's strike 2 living in Dallas. Hey, I was going to move to Texas, man.
The only reason why I live in Texas is because of the weather. It was when I left, I herniated some discs shoveling snow when I was living up in Connecticut. And then I moved to, well, it was really up to my wife. I was like, where do you want to live? I was like, we live Arizona, Colorado, or Texas. I mean, I can move anywhere, but that seems like it has ideal weather. So, Texas, yeah, it's Satan's anus for like 3 months out of the year. So I just dealt with it. Houston or Arizona's an oven, and Colorado still gets snow. So here we are back in Dallas. Right now I'm in Houston. That's why I keep muting my my mic occasionally. The airport is directly over that away. So like all of a sudden you're so like when I can hear it starting out of earshot. So you guys don't hear the 737 going overhead.
That's funny. I was actually going to move to Texas. I was going to move to Katy, right outside of Houston. That's where my in-laws and live, and my wife's sister and them.
5 minutes that way.
Yeah, it's funny because they're actually coming here. They'll be here Friday. Real fast so I don't forget. Yes, prayers, Miss Susie. I didn't know that you were going through stuff like that. So Miss Susie had breast cancer, and she said now she has lymphedema as a result of the breast cancer. Man, that hurts my heart, Miss Susie, because you're fucking awesome. So prayers go out to you, but I know you're a tough chick, so you kick that shit right in the balls.
So what does he have against Texas, by the way? Is he an Eagles fan? Is that his problem?
No, I think he's a Cali boy.
Oh, well, fucking Cali.
Yeah, he's out in Cali.
So rookie's out in Cali?
Yeah, he was in, because he wasn't. Huh?
I said he can't say anything then about Texas. Most people that are coming into Texas, why do you think on the outside of the main highway rolling into Texas it says "Don't California my Texas"?
Yeah, you guys are supposed to fall off the map here soon. You're supposed to be in the ocean.
Right.
But yeah, I know he didn't live far from Chris. I know he was like in the middle of California, and now he's in Northern California, but I think he's going back down south.
Well, I'll look you up next time in our office, our Cali office in Brea, in our training centers in Fullerton. Chris was supposed to come over and shoot a video showcasing our awesome training center in Fullerton, and then bailed on me because he doesn't like me.
Oh, that son of a bitch. God damn it.
Damn it, Chris.
Jesus, Chris. It was funny the first time I met Chris in person, when it was me, him, and Rookie, and we went out to dinner in Orlando for AHR before we were gonna leave, and you remember that, Rookie? We were in I forget the restaurant we went to, but we were pounding drinks. All three of us we were feeling our fucking Cheerios. This waitress was just feeding us drinks, and we're all like, then we're drunk arguing over who's gonna pay the bill. And we're like, I'm paying the bill, arguing. And then Chris ended up paying for it when we went to the bathroom. So me and Rookie came back. We ended up tipping that girl like, what was it, like $200 and something?
Oh, shit.
She was like, are you serious? And we're like, yeah, just take it. The next day, I'm like, where the fuck did all my cash go?
Well, so you probably saw Nathan Orr from Kalos put up GoFundMe to go get Kevin a haircut, and he said that whatever money, because like he would just constantly just comment on Kevin's hair, is like, who the fuck cuts your hair? Is it your mom? Blah blah blah, and just talk shit all the time about it. So finally, he's like, I'm. One day we woke up and there was a GoFundMe with Kevin's face on there. It says Kevin needs a haircut, so I need donations, and it collected like I think $150, and like so the agreement was that Nathan was going to match whatever monies that GoFundMe actually got, and basically he'll double the amount of money. So I was actually thinking about putting a 500 on there. I was like, fucking, this guy's gonna get an awesome tip or whatever. And just debating if I had to shut it off. I heard the 737 again. So anyway, so we go to the haircut place, and Nathan didn't even cash anything. It was in the GoFundMe. So everyone got their money back that donated. And then so Nathan actually ended up giving the guy $300 for a 35-minute haircut at the freaking haircut place. And I was like, oh my God, you just made his fucking day.
That's funny. Where does Kevin work? Like, who does he work for?
So he works for Climate Pros. He's a firefighter. I mean, he puts out all kinds of fires for his company. Like if other shit they're just off the wall. He's in the construction department. And so he does startup for Climate Pros.
Nice.
And so he deals with a lot of newer stuff, newer commissioning stuff. And he's a wizard at startup, and he's a wizard at programming.
I never had a pleasure of meeting him, but I look forward to finally getting to meet him sometime,
Like I said, I got to look. I think he might be at AHR, but like I said, I didn't put any time for the podcast pavilion because I was just scared this year. I don't want to be in the terminal for 3 days again.
Yeah.
Strike talking trash on Chris. Chris is my friend. He knows me. Jesus. He was talking shit the other day. He's like, yeah, I met Brett because, some raggedy guy shows up at my front door. It's like, hey, you want to live stream? I was like, that's not the way it happened. You invited me.
That's funny. Yeah, he said $250. We gave that chick a $250 tip. It was funny last year seeing like the first year Chris had short hair. It was kind of shaved. And then last year he had like longer hair parted. I'm like, who's this guy? Got the, had the part going on. And then he gave me some goodies. Had me in a whole nother world.
I think I heard about that.
Yeah.
Jesse Egan just told you about Kevin. He's quiet. He's just very quiet.
Yeah. Hey, it's all right. More power to him. For every person like him, you got a big mouth like me.
Very true.
So that's funny. But damn, we got to 9:30. I know we started a little bit late, man, but I won't go too much longer. So in a nutshell, man, to close this out, thank you all for coming here. The whole point of this is I understand that life sucks right now. Our paychecks aren't going as far as they used to go. A lot of people are having, whether it's financial troubles, they're having different issues. Maybe it's some family issues, health issues, whatever it is. I know that addiction and stuff like that, divorce rate is very high in the trades because sometimes you work so many hours or you travel or whatever it is. The whole point of this is I want each and every one of you to know that feeling like that or having goofy thoughts sometimes or whatever it is, there's nothing wrong with that. It is normal. Okay. There's more people like you that have goofy thoughts and goofy feelings than don't. Let's just be honest about it. I've shared some of mine. Chris, talk about Chris. Let me say that. Brett shared something about his daughter. You know what I mean? So it's just, and then you had people in here, Miss Susie talking about her, fight with cancer. Zeke has his daughter in a facility right now. You know what I mean? So this is just a small sample size of people that are going through something in life and we can all get through it. Like I always say, man, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a know-it-all, but if I can ever help somebody and if you call and reach out, I'll talk to you, the best I can. For all I know, you might be talking me off a ledge. And so you never know. So please just get the help, talk to somebody, and please know that you are not alone when it comes to this. It's just really, really big that other people know that. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So we talked about that tonight. If you guys come back here, I got another special episode tomorrow night with Mr. Brett again. We are actually going to get into some actual HVAC talk about some refrigeration stuff, which actually really intrigues me. As most of you know, that's what I started off doing, commercial AC, refrigeration, kitchen equipment. So it's actually cool to maybe for some of us to get in some of those conversations because I don't get to see that stuff every day now. I don't get to see it at all now, but so it's cool to have some of those conversations. Trying to see.
Bring your questions tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. Bring question, put them in the comments. Remember, that show is already out as far as the show cover and the link and all that. I made sure I put it out when I did this one today. So all that is there. Thank all you guys for coming here and watching. So I know I might not say everybody. So obviously thank you to my moderators, Rookie, Kraus, Zeke, Appreciate you guys. It's amazing seeing the lovely ladies of HVAC here, Miss Jessica Egan and Miss Susie Q. Well, Susie Dunn. I just like saying Susie Q. It just seemed to go together. But yeah, it's too hard to name everybody. But thank you guys for coming out. Anything you want to say before we close it out, my man?
No, man, it was a pleasure for coming on, and like Gil said, talk about your shit, dude. Don't let it fester, for sure.
Yeah. So come back here tomorrow night at the same time. Make sure that you guys, if you don't already, whether you do refrigeration or not, it's still good to get the brain working and just learn some of that stuff. Some of the stuff they talk about is really cool. It's really neat. And even if you learn that and all you do is HVAC, it's only going to help you. So go check out the Advanced Refrigeration Podcast, and then also their other show that he does, the Cooler Heads Podcast. That one's still on all the podcast sites and all the normal stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
On YouTube, on I just actually got it up on Apple and all that other stuff. But yeah, it's all up there.
All right, cool. See, so you search it like you would anything else. So go check out both of those, and we'll be here tomorrow. So, all right, buddy, I'm gonna start closing this out. So if you want to hang tight, or if you got to go,
No.
all right, give me a second, and we will. Oh man! All right, everybody, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Today was a goofy day, man. My mind was going 100 places, but I really didn't want to cancel the show. I wanted to talk to it, even though I got home late. So thank you guys for bearing with me. I'm sorry about the sponsor reads being a little goofy tonight, but definitely go check out BLUON and, call Profit. Let me make sure that I'm saying this right real fast. I don't want to mess it up. That I'm sending you to the right place, because I got like 15 websites in my head right now. Let's see. So callprofitrocket.com. Yeah, I had it right. Callprofitrocket.com. Any of you looking to start your own business, you're thinking about it, you want to learn to be a manager, whatever it is, you want to advance in your career, check out go to callprofitrocket.com, and there's different little online courses you can do from your house. You can sign up for one-on-one stuff, but it really teaches you the ins and outs on how you have to run a business, the things you need to know. So check those out. Thank you guys for coming tonight. I appreciate you guys. I really, really do. So much fun tonight, hanging out with Brett. Tomorrow's going to be fun too. This little two-banger we got going here while he's away. And, yeah, mental health's crazy. And I scare myself sometimes, guys, because I have goofy thoughts, but I want to be real and honest. And I know other people are out there like me. I'm no different than anybody else. So I just try to get through it, push through it, going to therapy, taking some medication, trying to get through this loss of my buddy that I just can't seem to shake. But sometimes it's hard to be vulnerable, and that's always been something for me. And I feel like I need to let myself be vulnerable. As much as it feels weird, it's like a goofy feeling to be vulnerable. Sometimes you got to do it to heal and make yourself better. And that's what I got to do to get better for, my family, myself, business, whatever it is. If that's what I have to do to be better, then so be it. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I cannot thank you guys enough. Come back here tomorrow night so we can do this again. Make sure you follow the podcast on all the social media sites. If you wouldn't mind going to leave a review of the podcast, trying to get those reviews back up. Obviously, make sure you download it. Check out the website, HVACuncensored.com. I still have a bunch of shirts designed and stuff like that I have to add, but any merch, HVAC Uncensored merch that you want is there. You guys can still keep emailing me at hvacuncensored@gmail.com, but the new email for the show is info@hvacuncensored.com. Info, INFO at HVACuncensored.com. Thank you, Rookie. And yes, thank you guys for coming. I'm going to rock and roll. I appreciate you guys. All right. Remember, be safe out there. All right. We all have somebody to make it home to. Whether you're at work, just keeping your mind clear. We work around electricity, driving, the little fender bender I have today. Thank God it was something dumb, but it could have been worse. Somebody could have not went home over something so minute. So be safe. All right. I don't want to hear through the grapevine that something happened to any of you. So be safe. All right. Do the little things. Set yourself apart from the next guy or girl. If you want something in life, God damn it, go get it. There's no reason that you can't have it. saying I don't know is not an excuse. Between podcasts, books, internet classes, whatever it is, if you want to learn something, there is a way to learn it. There's a place to learn it. So take that initiative, go do it, and get you to where you want to be. All right. Until tomorrow night, I'll talk with you mofos later. I love you guys, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored Podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.